Before I start, a Scotsman, an Englishman, a Northern Irishman, and a Scotswoman. This is the Gers TV. It's not a joke. This is who we are. This is what we are. Because of the current situation, everybody knows with the virus and things like that, we can't do a live show. We're on the one room together. So we've got Warren from Northern Ireland, and we've got Ben from sunny England as well as myself and Sandra. How are we doing, guys?
Hi, guys.
Hello, everybody. Yeah, team, how we doing? We good?
All good. Guys, so just before we start, if we get everybody to like and share, as many people to share as possible, I'm just basically going to talk about the current situation involving Rangers Football Club. Before I start, guys, I just want to dedicate tonight's show to the oldest living Rangers season ticket holder that just passed away there, John Connolly, and he was an East End guy. So all the best.
Here, here.
And condolences to the family. Right, guys, so before we start, we've got an interview with ex-Rangers player and SFA top man, Gordon Smith, and he's going to give you his opinion on where we are in the current situation, and also where it's going to go and what we should be doing. So I'm going to play that in a few minutes' time. Just a quick round up. First of all, Warren, how you been, mate?
I've been great, mate. Really good. It's hard. It's like anybody else. You know, I'm off work. As you know, I work with special needs kids, so it's extremely hard whenever I don't see these guys because of 15 years of my life I've dedicated to that job. So, well, my heart, I have a heart condition, so it comes first, unfortunately. But I'm great.
And yourself, Ben?
Yeah, do you know what? I don't really think I can follow that. I'm all right. Cheers.
You done your video earlier on. We just put it out about an hour ago, so that was your video with Arthur Newman.
Yeah, oh mate, that was one of the most embarrassing moments of my life. I was stressing. I was in Starbucks before, thinking, what can I ask him? I've got 6 minutes with Arthur Newman, and I only go out and tell him that he played for Ajax when he was a PSV star. Honestly, I've never felt worse in my life than the moment he said to me, so embarrassing.
Fair play. He's a great character, so he took it on in great jest.
He did, yeah. He laughed it off with me, and then I interviewed George Alberts after, which it was much better, can I just say.
And he didn't let you forget it.
No, even when they were doing like one of their public speaking events, I just walked through because I was going to film a bit for them. And Arthur Newman even shouted, "Hi, Ben." I was like, oh no, I can't look at him.
And Sandra, what about yourself? How are you?
I'm doing all right, Si. I'm doing good. It's a wee bit more relaxed now.
Aye, we're still trying to work this Zoom. It's a new thing, isn't it? But we're getting there. Guys, we're going to play this interview in a wee second. Before I do it, just a wee reminder to get as many shares as possible so as many people can see the show for us. All right, guys? So this is Gordon Smith's interview, and he's telling us about his opinions on the current situation involving Rangers and Scottish football. Right, okay, so it's Si at Gers TV here. I've got a quick interview with ex-Rangers player Gordon Smith. Before I start, just to give you some of the credentials that Gordon's had. In 2007, Gordon became the chief executive of the SFA. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yep. You've also been a pundit on the BBC Radio Scotland Sports Sound, and you've done media work with the Daily Express. As well as that, you've had a distinguished career, most so with Glasgow Rangers. On the park and off the park, you were also involved with the management side.
Yep. That's correct.
Yep. So, the reason I was wanting to speak to you tonight, Gordon, basically, the first question I'm going to ask you on the current affairs with the Scottish League and Rangers and obviously everyone else is, what's actually going on? Do you understand where we are?
Well, I don't understand completely, because what happens is Rangers have said that they have evidence that there was a lot of not proper, management of the whole situation regarding the lockdown for teams in terms of what was happening for the end of the season. And they say they have got evidence to suggest that there was it wasn't exactly done in the right manner, and so that they've got a complaint about it, and they're not happy with the way everything was conducted.
Right, okay, yep. So, I mean, since all that's happened, the average fan basically is getting lost where we're going with this. So, Rangers are obviously going to take the fight to them. So what do you think's going to happen?
Yeah, it's very difficult to understand what it is because my opinion on it, and I said it right from the very start, was Rangers had a good case in one respect. I don't think that the league system, the people were told to vote for the league being complete in order to get their money. Now that shouldn't have been the case in my opinion, because if you think about it, that money's there. They could have actually even given out 80% of the money that teams were going to get, depending on their position within the league. They could have given out 80% and then sorted out later on exactly where people were finished, provided the league did get finished, because I felt it was too early to suggest that the league could not be completed. So I think Rangers were right in that respect, and they did actually go for the fact that that money could have been given out in a loan. So from that point of view, I do agree with that could have been a procedure, rather than saying the league has to come to an end, we have to decide on all the positions of everybody in order that you get your money. And I think that's what Rangers have got a complaint about. But they've also got other evidence that things were not done in the correct procedure and were not done in the right manner, business-wise. But they haven't provided that yet. But the reason for that is that they're saying that they'll only provide that if they can get an independent inquiry into everything that's happened.
Yeah, and with your time when you were with the SFA, right, did you ever kind of use that system that they've got just now where they're sending in email votes for anything?
No, not at all. The difference was that when I was in SFA, what we've got here is the difference is that it's the league that's involved in this. And in terms of the league, what normally happens is they have a vote on things with all the members. The SFA generally weren't like that. Decisions would be taken by the board and then put out to the members rather than allowing everyone to have an individual vote, because the difference is that in this scenario, with the SFA, you're looking at football overall, all the different levels, the professional level, the amateur level, juniors, the grassroots football. So you can't have a members vote on every single level. But this is different. The SPFL are actually the 42 clubs, and that's why the vote was put out in that respect. So I've never experienced that personally, no.
Aye, no, because the reason I'm asking, right, and again, I'm speaking as a fan, and I might be wrong here. It just seems that they've obviously got the voting system where Dundee put a vote in. We're led to believe the vote disappeared or never arrived, and then they changed it. So it's something I've never heard in football before, where somebody's made a vote and a decision so as vital as this, and then it changes.
Yes, well, the thing was, they said that that's one of the big areas that had to be investigated, because the SPFL said they never got the vote from Dundee, and then when eventually it came through, Dundee changed their opinion, and they said, oh, this is what we're agreeing to, we're saying yes to the end of the season, whereas before, when they initially put in their decision on it, it was a no. And that's why there's a lot of questions being asked about why did they actually change their decision, or were they asked to change the decision, or did the SPFL not take into account the fact that they had actually said no in the first place. So I think that's part of the investigation. I think that Rangers, in terms of the problem that Rangers have put forward, in terms of the investigation they want, is down to the fact that how this was all conducted, in terms of how that vote was conducted. So I think that's a major aspect. Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Of course. Another thing is, obviously, when you're saying there, it's common knowledge now that it's came out that the allegation is that they've been asked to change their vote. That shouldn't happen from any authorities. That's right.
Oh no, it shouldn't. No, they shouldn't have been asked to change their vote at all. If they actually voted, if it turns out that they've actually been asked to change their vote when they already voted no, and they say, well, we'll discard your initial vote, and here's a reason why we wanted to change your vote. If that was the case, then there is a case then against the fact that the SPFL didn't conduct themselves properly. But that's what we've still got to find out. Until Rangers Football Club bring forward that evidence, and I think that they say they're going to do that now, they have issues with it. I think they're going to bring it forward for the SPFL board initially to look at it. I mean, they said they had Deloitte in doing a test, and said nothing actually was wrong with what happened. But a lot of people aren't actually accepting that decision either. They're not happy with that. And so the fact that Rangers wants something to be done independently.
Aye, because obviously when I've looked into investigations into that, there appears to be a connection with Celtic and or a past connection with Celtic and Deloitte as well. So there's obviously concerns at all levels. What do you think the outcome's going to be?
It's hard to say. I mean, initially I thought, when I was asked about it, I did say I don't think the SPFL will suspend Neil Doncaster or the chairman at all, or the legal people at all, because I think that they'll just say, well, we haven't done anything wrong. They'll not want to admit to having done anything wrong and doing that sort of thing. So I think the big problem that is there, that the Rangers need to have people there at some level to agree that an independent investigation has to take place. That's the only way forward. If that doesn't happen, then you'll find that the SPFL will say, we had Deloitte's in, we've looked at it, there's nothing wrong, unless you can provide any information to suggest otherwise. That's the situation. So Rangers have to put things forward. I mean, I know Stuart Robertson's on the board of the SPFL, so he has to be the one that maybe goes forward and says, here's what we've got, here's the evidence that we can produce in terms of saying that this was not done correctly. And if that is the case, then that has to go forward. If I don't see why there should be any problem with it in one respect. I know it's going to be expensive, maybe in terms of they're saying about the costs, the legal costs and all that. But if the SPFL have done nothing wrong, then it would be a major embarrassment to Rangers if there wasn't anything done wrong. Rangers would be the case of it. So why should they be afraid of it if they're totally sure of themselves that they had done nothing wrong?
Yeah, they would want to come out and sort that out themselves for their own sake.
Yes.
Yeah. Another thing that I'm wondering about is obviously you played in English League as well. Overall, and what effect will this have in Scottish football if it does come out that Rangers are right and there's been misconduct from the top level?
Oh yeah, what will happen is there'll have to be major changes at the top level of the game in terms of the people who are actually operating it and the system of how it runs and everything like that. That will happen. It will be people. It will be individuals who will be to blame for it. Not necessarily the system as such, but it will be individuals who are running it. If they've done anything wrong, if it's proved that it wasn't done in the correct manner, then that's what will happen. So I think that's the only way forward. And that if these people want to stay in place and keep their job and maintain, the positions they've got, they have to be able to prove that they have done nothing wrong. And that's why it's a very interesting situation to see where this is going to go. But if Rangers have good proof about things that were not done correctly, they have to produce it and go forward to the next stage.
Yeah, and in terms of credibility worldwide for the Scottish League and Rangers Football Club, would that affect financially what Rangers would get from like sponsorships in the future and things?
Well, it might affect them if they're wrong in that respect. I know what you mean. If they actually in the investigation then find out they've made a mistake there, it could be harmful for Rangers' reputation, that's for sure. But I don't think it'll have any effect if they've actually have this investigation and prove that Rangers are correct.
Right, yeah.
But the Rangers, the Football Association, at the moment, the big problem we've got in Scotland is all this. It seems as if it's been. I mean, even the press people are all saying, it's been hectic. We don't know what's going on. And there's so many problems in the game in terms of trying to take things forward. I personally always believed that we should have waited because I thought if we get this thing cured, and not cured, but actually diminished in respect of the fact that less cases and the lockdown is working, and then we can maybe get back playing again, I do believe we should have been in a position where we could wait until the very last tight moment until we say, well, the season isn't going to continue. There won't be any more games. Until that was the case, then you're not in a position to say the league should be over. And that's why I said initially that I felt that the loan would have been a good idea in terms of saying, well, everybody gets a loan up to 80% of what they would get depending on what the position is in the league. And that's quite easy to do. You give that money out and then you say, right, okay, if the league doesn't go on, then these are final positions and we give you the other part of the money. But if the league can be replayed and we can get games played in July or whatever, then why not wait until we see whether that can be done?
Yep, and that way you would actually have a title won completely, a fair title basically won on merit. Absolutely,
yeah. It's best to be won on merit. You're absolutely right. That's the thing. A lot of the leagues are doing that now. Some of them even, I think the Dutch league even said that they weren't going to give the championship out because they thought that it was incomplete.
And I know you were a big advocate at one time of summer football. So you believe that could be done then?
Well, I was always a believer that in terms of not just summer, but I believe that we should have a longer winter break, Simon, and we should actually we should play into the summer. We should play, you know, the shortest break should be in the summer months, but we should be cutting out. I always thought we should be cutting out in January, February, because I've done my research into it to look at the fact that we shouldn't be playing in the winter months in Scotland. We should be shutting the game down. So I've always been a great believer in that. Yes.
Aye, quite sadly that when you were kind of trying to push that, I don't even think they really took it seriously.
No, they didn't. I went to the league with it. Yeah, you know what funny thing was, we used to have a month's break at the time, and I was trying to say we should have a 2-month break then, January, February, because my research that I did looked at that's the majority of the games that were ever cancelled were January, February, and it was quite funny. There was one of the funniest ones was a guy in the SPL board who the meeting, the people who wanted to listen to what I had to say. He actually said to me, "Gordon, you're talking about playing in June. It's too warm to play in June." You know, and I said, they play in Spain in June, but it's too warm to play in Scotland in June, you know.
The World Cup and everything else, aye.
Exactly.
Crazy. Anyway, one last question for you, Gordon. I know you're a busy man, I'll let you go. When you worked with SFA, and then in your book you mentioned the fact that you had concerns that there was an anti-Rangers agenda in the background. Would you share the Rangers supporters' concerns just now with the way things have been handled, if this is proved correct, that it's been done unfairly?
Well, I felt what I said at the time was because my experience was the fact that there was, when I was at the SFA and a number of people in UEFA and things like that were telling me they were getting so many complaints about Rangers all the time, about the sectarian thing and all that sort of thing. And they were getting loads of letters and complaints about it. And I said, "Do you ever get any complaints about Celtic at all?" And they went, "No." And I thought, well, it's just the Celtic fans obviously were making a big case for it to give Rangers the bad name, you know what I mean?
Yep.
But that's what happened. So I felt, that's what I said when I did it. I said felt there was definitely an agenda there in terms of a lot of people wanted to harm Rangers rather than anything else. But I don't know whether this is the case of being harmful to Rangers or not. I don't know if that is the case yet, but I need to find out what the evidence that the Rangers have to suggest that there was something wrong. It might just be the fact that it was wrong in terms of how the procedures went ahead rather than being anti-Rangers. It might just be the fact was that the SPFL didn't do things in the correct manner.
Well, when you look at it now, you're probably glad you're not involved in it. It's such a mess.
Well, I would like to be involved in terms of, because I do feel reconstruction is possible. I've made my point to people before. I said that I think we should go now to 3 leagues of 14 at this stage, just for one season, in order to make sure that no one then suffers, no teams are relegated, and that the fact is that the teams can come up into another division because of the fact that the leagues weren't complete. So 3 leagues of 14 for one season, and then after that, reconstruction happens. Then they've got a year to look at the different ways and to take the football season forward. Because I do believe, and I've said this all along, that the 2 bottom leagues, the League 1 and League 2, should be League 1 North and League 1 South.
Yep.
So that the teams are regionalised, and that the reserve teams, the B teams, should come into those leagues as well.
And just the last thing, just before you go, is that when you played with Rangers, obviously, and you played at the top level, as a player, surely the players would want, like, so for example, Celtic would want to actually win the title by playing?
Well, definitely, yeah, I think so as well. I would think a lot of people, and I know personally and myself about this, I was in that situation. I would be saying, I don't want the league to finish now. If I was in Celtic's position now as I was a player, I would still think I'm going to win the league even if it's completed. So, but I don't want to win it. I don't want to be given the league.
Yep.
In this respect, I want to win it.
Aye, a bit of pride. Yep.
Yes.
I know, no worries at all. And you said that summer football might be the way to get that, even if it's behind closed doors. Summer football might be the way of getting that concluded in the fairest manner possible.
Oh, definitely. We want to see the game continue, because the worst thing is the big problem that football has, with all this talk about closed down, lockdowns of gatherings of people. You know, even the fact that they don't even want games televised with no crowd there, but just in case there's big crowds gathering in pubs and all that. But if the pubs aren't open either, then they won't. But they'll say, well, they'll go to people's houses to watch it,
yep.
And they're afraid of that. So they might even stop the football just on the basis that people are going to be gathering together to watch games. So it's a big blow. I want to see the game continue. I want to see us getting back to life as normal. I know this is a sad time with people losing their lives because of this, but the quicker we can get back to being a normal life again, the better for everybody.
Aye, no, great. Some great points here. Thank you very much, Gordon, for doing that for us. And all the best.
You too, Simon. All the best to you.
Cheers, thanks.
Take care, bye.
Cheers. Right, okay, so Si and Gers TV here. I've got a quick interview with ex-Rangers player Gordon Smith. Before I start, just to give you some of the credentials that Gordon's had. In 2007, Gordon became the SFA a few years ago. So guys, that's us. Sorry, there's a wee interruption there. That was Gordon Smith's interview. He was a top man at the SFA. He played at the top level with Rangers, and he played in English football as well. Giving you his opinion on what the state of affairs is, just a bit, some bullet points in case anybody missed some of the interview there. So basically what he's saying is, as a professional footballer, he would have been embarrassed. Basically, for pride, he would have wanted to win the league, as in playing the games, and he believes the way to do that would be to finish the season off by playing in the summer football, up to mid-June, July or whatever, and get the games, even if it's closed doors, get the games finished. As well as that, he's also said that if the SPFL have got nothing to be afraid of and nothing to hide, there wouldn't be any reason why they wouldn't want to cooperate with Rangers and have an investigation. Other than that, he's just basically saying the fact that it's been an absolute mess throughout, and it needs to get cleared up quickly. And if Rangers have got some information, they need to bring it out and go for it. So what updates we'll get, sir? We'll give you an update after that as well with Sandra, what were you saying?
I was wanting to speak about the DUP MP, Gregory Campbell. He done an interview with Sports Sounds, and he took a backlash online about his paramilitary decisions for the independent inquiry. You know a wee bit about that, Warren?
It's a load of nonsense. It's typical, biased broadcasting of what we're seeing. Gregory it stands by who he is. Gregory is a traditional unionist. He has been the MP for East Londonderry for over 20 years. He stood up in Parliament a couple of weeks back and asked about an independent inquiry into this whole fiasco. And he wasn't the only other one. There was also a Labour MP of Edinburgh South, a guy called Ian Murray, also said it was an embarrassment, this whole situation. So Gregory's standing by what he believed in. And then the podcast, when it went out, for some reason, the BBC said because of time constraints, that they cut Gregory's interview. I'm sorry, but that's just not good enough.
I see they also thanked everybody else and missed him out. They never thanked him.
It's typical. Gregory is one of the guys in this country that he stands for the core traditional of unionism. He's not your usual DUP MP, and he divides a lot of people in what he says, but he stands by his principles, and he's been a Gers fan all his life, from he's a wee boy.
And never been ashamed to admit it.
Yeah, and he's quite proud of it, and quite proud of his heritage and who he is. Mm-hmm. But that doesn't suit the media and the media's portrayal, what they want to see. And, to me, it's another part of this whole corruption and cover-up that's going on.
Yeah. And Ben, just to get your thoughts on the Gordon Smith interview, when he basically mentioned the fact for pride, and as a professional footballer in a professional club, you would want to win the actual title by playing the games and playing it in the summer football. What's your opinions on that?
Look, I've tried to be sort of impartial when it comes to my opinion on this, but look, here's the fact. If I was a footballer, then I total agreement. A lot of these guys, what we don't understand, a lot of what they do is based on pride, particularly, say, in a league where there's not much else is there. So we've got players at the moment, look at Celtic, look at Rangers. We're doing everything that we can to close a gap that is there. They're doing everything that they can to prove that they're the better team. And they can't prove they're the better team until they win that league, organically. However, I think the Celtic fans would be happy with claiming the title, but still not quite as happy as if their players went and won it themselves. But he's spot on. I think every single player will want to play out or call it null and void. However, it's very much the machine that is a Scottish Premier League isn't run by the players, is it? It's run by the people that want to be in charge and the people that want to put certain other people in charge. I'm trying to put this in layman's terms without sounding like a dick. But yeah, generally, I think he's spot on. I think he's absolutely spot on. Players will want to win that organically. They'll want to play out the games because it would almost be like a hollow victory, wouldn't it? It'd be, instead of you winning it, you'd be given the title. And that it wouldn't feel right for any sportsman that's professional whatsoever.
But the other thing is as well, summer football, they've spoken about it for years in many debates in Scottish football. It's always been a big talking point. Why don't we try it? This is a great opportunity to try it.
Yeah.
I mean, if they try it and for any reason it doesn't work out, you still have a title finished, and you can turn around and say, well, we don't need summer football. It wasn't as good as we thought. But I definitely think this is the time to try it. Even as much as we don't want behind closed doors, I think even if that's the case, limited amount of fans in the stadium.
I don't think there'll be any in.
I'm not sure how it would work.
I think for safety's sake, you have to, if you're, the way this coronavirus is, we don't know when this is going to end. Okay, people are saying, it's going to end this month or this month. We don't know, and they're talking about a second wave coming in as well.
Yeah.
We have to look after our fans. We have to look after our players too. And so we're going to have to play games behind closed doors, and people are just going to have to bite the bullet.
Yeah.
Watching it, it's basically screen live TV and watching the television. That's to me, that's the option. And I would imagine that the average anybody with a bit of common sense that supports Celtic would be wanting surely to win the title fairly and get it and do the right thing. Either that or what you're going to have is for years to come, you're going to have wee digs at each other because you haven't actually won the title.
Mm-hmm.
It's such a mess. But the biggest problem in all this, we haven't got proper leadership in the SPFL or with the SFA. There's no leadership. There's nobody that you can trust.
That's right.
And our best guy that we've got in there is Stuart Robertson, who I've said before doesn't really give me an impression that he's like a dog in the business world sort of thing. He doesn't give me an impression that he would be a hardline fighter, whereas Peter Lywell is.
Mm-hmm.
That's my worries with that. And then you've also got the problem as well where I say, what do you call them? Deloitte? What's the name of that company? Deloitte. So I've got a fly flying in front of me here. So you've got Deloitte as well. So you're supposed to have an independent investigation, and it turns out the investigation then tells you there's nothing to be found. Only for somebody to find right away that there's a Celtic connection or an ex-Celtic connection from them.
Well, I think it's exactly what Gordon says. If they feel that they've got nothing to hide, then why do an internal investigation? Why not go and get an independent person and investigate this, unless they've got something to hide?
Yeah.
Obviously, they have something to hide.
Sorry, just quick.
Sorry, Ben. I just see that Rangers were demanding that Neil Doncaster he stepped down while this investigation was going on.
I would agree with that.
Yeah,
makes sense.
Agree with it, 100%.
Just quickly touching on what you were saying before there, Si, about our managing director and comparing him to Peter Law. The difference is, look, Peter Law has got his fingers in all the pies. He's got the channels to make his voice heard and make his opinion forced, essentially. And I think everyone's pretty wise to that now. But unfortunately, our guys don't and can't. I've got, obviously, one of my cover photos is me really proud standing next to him. Spoke to him briefly. He seems genuine, but I think you're right. There is a little bit of animosity that's lacking within his personality that potentially could aid him, just like Peter Law. Look, for all of his faults, I think Peter Law, he's definitely, he stands by his words, even though his word is dead wrong. But I think we need someone that's just as opinionated or just as maybe mentally strong, if you know what I mean. Don't get me wrong, the guy's an arse. He's dead wrong, but he's got a way about him that's, it makes people listen, and it makes me sick. But maybe we need something like that.
No, definitely.
On the board.
And you were saying, Warren, you were saying earlier on as well, but during the interview there, you were saying that you felt that Rangers should maybe be doing a wee bit more dialogue with the clubs who feel basically the clubs are in agreement with us.
Totally agree. I mean, you've got all these clubs that we made their, we've done the whole Dundee situation in the first place. That should never happen. Okay, when a club has said something, it should be stood by. So when they say no, that means no. It doesn't mean, oh, let's wait, let's leave it a week or so, and then we'll see how they come back again. No means no. Okay, and the other clubs, Rangers should be meeting with the other clubs who have issues. So Aberdeen, Falkirk, and the other clubs. I think Cali Thistle was the other one. Meet with them and see what they feel about it. We know we have the dossier. We have a dossier of stuff that we can bring. If it comes to it, and Rangers feel they're going to go to a court case here, there's a lot of evidence being gathered. A lot of evidence.
Well, a lot of them won't want to go to court because they're talking about a 6-figure sum that will be for legal battles.
Yeah, but the bottom line is you need to do it right. If there's an argument here that there's a wrongdoing, you need to get it right. It needs to be righted.
I know.
Sandra, where have you got to feed? Is there any questions on the feed or anything like that?
What did I say? Natalie Johnson says she hopes, Natalie Patterson says she hopes everybody's safe and well. I can see her. I can't see anything else. If it was allowed to mark my own homework exams, I'd have got straight A's as well. I might have been thrown the odd B, so I didn't get caught. That was Natalie. So I take that was
the McCoy's quote.
Was it Stephen Gerrard that said that about marking his own homework?
Oh, so it was Gerrard.
That was
jokes on them for doing the homework. I never did.
This is what I was trying to ask Gordon Smith. My question went across rank him. I don't. He didn't answer it the way I expect. I was meaning what I was asking him was about the sponsorship. I think he thought about Rangers effect. What I was asking him was, see if this is proved that the SPFL have got this wrong and there's been corruption. Surely that's going to affect sponsorship to the game. Because see you're a multi-millionaire, right? For example, just say you own Coca-Cola, right? And you're going to put money into Scottish football, and then it turns out that the whole thing's been a farce. You're going to put less money in.
No.
Well,
who's going to want to sponsor that game?
As a joke,
it will be affected, yeah, definitely. I mean, but this whole thing with Ladbrokes as well, Rangers fans need to really be,
Yeah.
I've seen a boy the other day in Lauren here going into Ladbrokes, doing a bet with a Rangers shirt on, so people need to, be careful there as well, Sponsorship will be affected. There's no two ways about it. How can you sponsor something if it's corrupt?
Yeah, I know.
You've got to sell the game. How can you sell the game if it comes back to basically that there's been rigging in the votes or else there's been interference, basically, whatever you call it. But Dundee's basically been told what to do and they've been promised whatever.
Yeah, I think you're spot on, mate. Look, when it comes to the marketability of Scottish football, it's taken a huge knock recently. I think the best thing for the X factor of Scottish football and making it investable and, as I stated, the marketability was Stephen Gerrard taking over at Rangers. There was a massive people that supported Liverpool. England were watching. People were talking about it on TV. Even on Match of the Day, they were talking about Stephen Gerrard, even though it's a totally different league, which is relatively unheard of. The rest of the world was watching. But now that the rest of the world is watching, they're now looking at what a farce our league is and what a farce our league's authorities are.
They're laughing at us.
It's terrible because this happened right at the point in time that everyone was watching us because of Stephen Gerrard. So,
yeah.
Hey, there you are. Alec Kelly said Rangers have been left isolated on the SPFL, have been sly, putting in reconstruction panel with Hearts, Hamilton, Dundee, Passick on the board and all, pacify them to backdropping Rangers' argument. Even that decision is corrupt.
And the scary thing is, Rangers probably put more money in than any other club, fans-wise.
Well, I mean, if this goes ahead and we do lose the whole thing, what us as fans should be doing, and I have asked for this, is we need to stop going to away games, stop going and supporting these other clubs by going to their stadiums, buying their food, going buying programs, everything else. We need to make as a fans, we need to stand on this, and all the supporters clubs should refuse to go to away games next season if they get this.
We definitely need to do something. We need to. It's quite scary if we don't win it because Rangers are obviously very confident they've got a case.
Yeah, we are, but it's like a lot of legal things. It's how much money you have in your pocket. Say, if anybody watched that O.J. Simpson trial thing that was on, the guy was as guilty as sin if you watched that program, right? But when it came to the court case, they had more money in their pockets, the defence, than the prosecution, and they won the case. So this is the problem.
Aye, and I mean, you look at the Scottish legal system as well, with the Craig White scenario and everything else. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
You're right. You're saying, do you trust the courts when it comes to it?
Unfortunately, corruption isn't only in football, and that's
It's
the problem.
all over. It's worldwide, Warren. Worldwide.
Yeah. And that's the problem. It's all about money. All about who has the most money. That's what happens. Unfortunately, you know, it's sad but true.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is, it's going to affect the game big time. I mean, you're worrying about European football. You're worrying about the credibility of the game. You're worrying about the credibility of Rangers. Everything's going to be affected by it.
The question I want, and nobody seems to have answered yet, is why did Hearts just accept the relegation?
Yeah, all of a sudden,
Why would any club accept relegation unless they are handed a massive pay, you know, a bonus for taking relegation? Why would any club accept relegation? It's the worst thing can happen.
It was reconstruction.
They've gone for the Warren. They're gone for reconstruction. So what they're basically saying is that they're going to reconstruct the league so they don't get relegated. It happened with Aberdeen about 10 years ago. It happened, so Aberdeen get relegated, but they didn't go down.
Look, say, you know, I'm a Leeds United supporter, right? And the worst thing that ever happened, and it's the same with the Gers and all the clubs that I support, relegation is the worst thing that can happen to you as a fan and as a player, to go down those leagues, especially what happened to Leeds, where we were just thrown out right down to the bottom of the leagues and had to work our way back up again. And for any club to accept that, no matter how much money you get reconstruction, the fans of Hearts, how do they feel about this? Do they feel it's okay?
Warren, what I'm saying, Warren, what I'm saying is I think they think they're going to get a deal, though, to keep them up. I think
there's no guarantees that they're going to get back. If you get relegated, sometimes you're not going to... A lot of the players don't want to play for the club anymore. They'll leave the club.
No, Warren, what I mean is I think they're getting a deal. I think they think they're getting a deal that they don't get relegated. They finish
okay.
But they don't get relegated.
They kept accepting the relegation. So the reconstruction of the league then will include Hearts on it? Is that what they're saying?
A 14-team league. Aye. So Dundee's happy about it. Hearts are happy, and the two didn't vote.
All right.
Aye. So it depends if it's 14 or 16 teams or whatever. That's the problem. You don't know what's going. The show song. No one knows what goes on behind closed doors.
What does it mean? If it's 16 teams, it means Dundee will be in it.
Aye. And that's why Dundee changed their vote. So Dundee get told this and change the vote.
It's just it's a whole thing. I think exactly what that Labour MP says. It's an embarrassment. It's an embarrassment to British football. It's an embarrassment to Scottish football. And it's an embarrassment to football, European and worldwide. The whole thing is an embarrassment.
It's not just that. There was a thing the other week. What was the team that was it? Auchinleck. That they're sixth in the league and they were given the league.
Aye.
I don't get what happened there. Right, I'll be honest with you. I looked at it. So basically, they gave it an average points. Right? Yeah. But as average points, is that the fairest way to decide who wins the league? And is that the case for everybody now, or is it just going to be at that level?
Call me stupid, Si, but I believe that you can't win the league until you've won the league.
I agree with you.
Why is that so difficult to understand either? Even if it's mathematically possible for a team to win the league, that team still hasn't won the league. I mean, if we're talking about, say, Celtic are 25 points clear and there's 5 games left, or 4 games left, you're thinking, all right, okay, fine, well, it's mathematically impossible now. You know, but at this point in time, it's still chaseable. They still haven't played out their games. We still have a possibility. If they are to be given the league, it makes no sense. And I understand people are saying, look, there's a pandemic. There's all these external factors that we need to consider. But no, we're still talking about a serious professional sport run by an apparently professional organisation that is seriously considering and are really not just considering, but pushing, giving Celtic the title. And I've stated giving Celtic the title, which would be their 9th in a row. You can't win it until you've won it. And I don't.
That's right.
You know, it's scary. The fact of the matter is, it's scary because the way they've gone about it. Everybody knows the whole agenda is to give Celtic the title. But they're offering money. They're offering money that clubs need to survive.
I know.
They're giving titles to other leagues.
They're getting a wee sweetener so that happens.
They're slowly going about it, but everybody knows the only reason they're doing it is because Peter Lywell wants his title. Rather than just coming out and saying it, even you could respect him a wee bit if they took it down and said for the start, we want to give Celtic the title, but they can't even have the balls to say it. They're slowly just trying to bring it in.
That's right. No, you're totally right.
I seen Neil McCann was giving a wee dig at Scott Brown.
That was good.
Did you see I missed it?
Not being a bit of Neil.
What did he say? I missed it. Didn't he say? What did he say? Do you know?
I was about wearing the Rangers shirt.
Oh, right, years ago.
He was giving him a wee dig about that. He said they couldn't miss the opportunity.
I never seen that.
Aye. We all forget. But the problem with it is there's always going to have those photographs are still there. So no matter what he says,
it's always going to come back.
At one point, he was a Gers. So, you know, it's going to come back and bite him. Right.
Say that again. Aye, I know. Aye. So we're just getting that sent through to me. So basically, Sky's going to, if there's not going to be 4 Old Firm games, the deal that we get, or we as a Scottish football get for Sky, is going to change as well, because Sky's not going to buy the same deal and get 2 Old Firm games that they're going to pay 4. They're not going to do that, so that's going to devalue the league as well. It's going to devalue the price.
Yeah. But
are Sky going to want it? Is Sky, I mean, let's be honest, Sky's got the Premiership and the Championship. Are they really caring?
No.
If they're not getting the 4 Old, if they're not getting 4 Old Firm games, then they start to say, well, is it worth it?
Worth it, no.
I mean, how many, Ben, you're living in England, how many games do you think they watched in there, English in general, and Scottish football?
They don't, mate. Genuinely, the only thing that they'll switch on for is the Old Firm game. But interestingly enough, they won't watch a big game, a big English game, in favour of the Old Firm game. It's a game people want to watch, mate. But other than that, honestly, nothing. Europa League, maybe that's it.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that's a massive. I mean, the whole impact of Scottish football because of this. I'm having to get anybody coming out and clarifying it. You've got. I mean, it's a bad day when you've got to get Gregory Campbell, a guy from Northern Ireland, an MP from Northern Ireland, coming out and speaking up.
Yeah.
And almost nobody
in Scotland's done it, but a DUP done it.
Yep.
Right. But the other thing is, yet again, what we're hearing from Celtic, that this league is more important than the lives of their fans, than the lives of their players, than the lives of visiting fans and visiting players. All they want is to win this league. They don't care about anything else. You know, and I'm hearing all the time, they're Lawwell on, I've heard Lennon on, I've heard them all on slabbering. They're all the same. Every time, all they care about is winning this league. And let's face it, if they win it, it's not even going to count.
I know.
It's a tainted league.
I know. Tainted.
I mean, the thing is, I don't know much about it, but for what I do check on Facebook, now, I haven't seen any Liverpool fans yet. Liverpool fans claiming they want a title.
No, not at all. I have a friend, John Robertson. I think he's watching, actually. John Roberts from Liverpool. He's a massive Liverpool fan, and he's a massive Terry as well. And John was saying that he's like one of the chairmen of the Liverpool Supporters Club, and he was saying that there's been nothing. You know, they're putting their fans and the health of their people first before winning the league. Now, they're only 3 games away from winning the league, but you don't hear them all squealing the way we hear.
I have a lot of Liverpool supporters on my page, and I have not seen one thing.
No, I've not seen it. No.
If you look at Juventus as well, Juventus are saying that if they're in the league, they're not going to accept it.
That's right, Ben's right. Juventus have came out and said they're not taking it.
And they're huge. They're on about as many in a row as Celtic as well. So, I mean, if you're telling me one club can do it and the other club can't, then have a lot.
It's about class, though. It's about class. Juventus and Liverpool are 2 teams with class when it comes to things like that.
They are class. They are a class above, you know.
The Dutch league, I think Ajax have been told they can't win it. Is that right?
Yep.
That was the update this week. Ajax have been told that there's not going to be a winner.
The Dutch league is null and void.
And they've not. I've not heard them complaining about that.
I'm not giving them the title.
But you see, again, UEFA have let the SFPL do whatever they want here. UEFA should have stepped in and said, right, this is what's going to happen. UEFA have done a Pontius Pilate, washed their hands of the whole affair, and handed it over to a corrupt organisation, which is the SFPL. Let's face it.
I know.
Right, guys, it's that time of the day. The day the whiskey of the month. And this wee one I've got here is called Auchenshential. I think it's called Auchenshential.
Sorry, yeah, mate. I hope it's all consensual. Otherwise, you're in trouble, by the way.
It sounds like a Japanese whiskey.
Kamikaze whiskey.
It reminds me of my first girlfriend. She was Chinese. Her name was way too young.
Oh no!
Or Bernie Tongue.
Right. God save the Queen.
God save the Queen.
God save the Queen.
Okay. That's lovely. Woof.
Was that nice?
Beautiful. Lovely, but I'll be aftertaste on it.
It's nice in the box.
1, 2, 3, 4 left.
Oh.
So I need to get a new whiskey. I got King William. King William Gin sent me a bottle of blood orange.
Oh,
gin.
that's good. That's good.
I can see how this is going to deteriorate when the football season's reopened. I guarantee you, we're going to see Si go, right, it's that time again. Big bottle of Bell.
Oh,
a big welly.
when he had the illness, or I says, "Say I wouldn't worry about it because you're already pickled anyway."
So how's the reception been? Warren, with your talks when you've been doing the William White Wars? How's the reaction been?
I have to say it's been very, very encouraging, and all of you guys have been really good. And I have to say, Davey, I know you're listening. Davey's been brilliant. Except for playing the one that wasn't meant to be played. But yes, great.
You have your moments, David.
Oh, you've got 8,000, you've got 9,000, it's great. And people are embracing it. And, it's good for people who are on their own at this time, older people who really don't have an awful lot. And I have a couple of people who contacted me, private message me and thank me for doing it. I just want to tell people the truth of their history. There's a lot of nonsense out there about our history.
There's a lot of people don't know their history, Warren.
And that's it, Sandra. And all I am doing is stating facts. There's no conjecture. There's no made up. It's all from books. It's all factual. So this week's talk is number 6 out of the 12 that we're doing. And this week is on the Battle of Newton Butler, 1689. So that's when the Enniskillen Fusiliers or the Enniskilleners make their name. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the cost of the siege of Londonderry to the people. And then we're going to talk about William's plan to come and invade Ireland. So that's what we're doing this week. So it's been great. And I have to say thanks, Davey, for all your help, chum.
So if anybody's want to catch up with him, it's the Williamite Wars. It's a history of the Williamite Wars, basically a glorious revolution. Dating, it starts around about 1687, around about then he started
1688.
It started 1688. I thought you started the year before. I thought you
no, the first talk is the pre-history, so it starts in 1685.
85, right. So 1685, and it takes you right up to around about 1692, you finish it?
1692, yeah. Well, end of 1691 into 1692.
And we've started uploading them onto the YouTube page. So if anybody's want to catch up with it, you can catch up. You'll see Warren in his hat.
I see him in my Stuart uniform. The side would be wearing if he was coming to Carrickfergus. But
next year.
Next year. There's always next year. That's what I say about football too.
Aye, definitely. And Ben, obviously we put your interview up today with Arthur Newman. Have you got a few other ones you're going to be able to share with us?
Yeah, mate, I should have a good, probably, Jesus, how many have I got? Maybe 30 odds. But
God, Ben, I was thinking you've got one with Jesus.
I can look back on so many of these and I look at myself and I look at some of the questions that I'm asking and I'm thinking, oh my God, what are you doing? Like, I think I even said to George Alberts in my first interview, I go, so what was your favourite moment in a Rangers shirt? 2 minutes later, what was your favourite moment in a Rangers shirt? What are you doing, wee man? Honestly. But we've got a couple of questions in here. I think there's quite a good one here. Natalie Patterson stated, "What's everyone think about the rumoured offer of £20 million for Morelos from a few English clubs, namely Leicester City, who, of course, are managed by Brendan Rodgers?"
Yep. My opinion of it, if you asked me this in December, I would have said don't take it. The position we're in now, I would take it because I think his heart's away, and it may have changed now because over the January period in February, he seemed to be as if he lost a bit of heart with the club. I don't know. I don't know what, but it's all about value. 20 million. If you're going to get somebody else and that wants to be there, I would maybe take it now.
Yeah, I agree.
Alex Kelly said, take the money as he's down tools, get rid of Taff and Golson too. Defence needs proper defenders, but also a threat from corners.
We say things like that. We say things like get rid of Tav, but the moment that Tav's out of the team, how bloody poor are we? How there's no chance creation on the right flank. Tav puts in his effort, he runs up the pitch. Yes, I'm the first to criticise him, but I'm also the first to praise him. Look, whether the guy's captain material or not is up in the air, and I'm not going to comment on that at the moment. However, his influence on the team, his attacking prowess, his crosses, even some of his free kicks when they actually land, he adds so much to that team. And when we have just like an out-and-out right-back, sort of say John Flanagan there, it doesn't suit. We need that prowess that James Tavernier offers us. And people are saying sell him.
In respect, I agree, but I think we need to really strengthen at the back, big time. And
big Golson. I wouldn't keep Golson. Golson to me is a weak link.
No, I agree. There's better players if you're looking at England, there's better players. And a guy who I loved at Leeds United, who went on and left Leeds, is Pontus Jansson. And I would love to see Jansson at Ibrox because I think he's the type of player that Rangers fans would love, and he would fit in so well. He's a really good centre defender. He's like a wall, When he was at Leeds, he was superb, and we lost him because he had a fight with the manager, and the manager was wrong. The manager wanted to play a different system, and it messed up the whole team, and we lost a chance to win the league that year because of it. But Bielsa's that type of guy. That's Bielsa, whereas I can see Pontus Jansson or a player like him working very well with Stevie G. Because he's a very adaptable guy, and fans love him, absolutely love him.
I was excited when Hadji came. I was excited about him. I think we've got a lot to see for him, but it's just not possible right now.
Well, that's back down to the question: are we going to buy him for that? Is it $4.5 million?
That's the question. Yeah,
that's good value in my opinion because he's a young boy.
I think
he'll bring a great deal to the team side.
I think with enough quality in the midfield. We need a striker, no two ways about it, but we really need a defence. The defence was leaking goals in silly games that cost us, and we need to really look at that and build on it because we just don't have the quality there in the defence. We really don't.
I mean, from my point of view, we need a defence that's going to be the same defence every week. That's the way I look at it. See, we get a defence that know each other and play together, and that's a defence. To me, that's a more solid defence than the kind of rotation system.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Thing is, Ty, you stated that $4.5 million is a fair price for Ianis Hadji, but the question is, in this current climate of financial instability and uncertainty that we're currently in, do we know how much 4.5 million is going to be now for a football player? It might sound like a stupid question, but is it all the same? Like, if we're talking about 4.5 million prior to whatever the hell this pandemic is, I'd say it totally would have been fair. Look, this guy turned up for us in the big games, and I was doing live streams on Instagram, and I just said, "Who's your favourite Rangers player?" Just getting people on, their faces popping up, and 7 out of 17 said Ianis Hadji. Now, get me wrong, he's played less than 10 games for Rangers, isn't it?
That's right.
Yes, so, Natalie Patterson's wanting you to sing the Hadji song, Si.
I can't mind it.
Oh, no.
See, to give people an idea how big a player he is, right? And how big Romania is, football-wise. See the Gers TV, see our YouTube channel. The second biggest country that watches it is Romania.
That's right.
Wow.
That's right.
All because of one player, I would imagine. Do you know what I mean? I can't see another reason.
I think he was an instant success with fans, and he seems to put a lot into the games. He tries his best. I mean, as you know, I'm a massive fan of Stevie Davis and always will be. I know Stevie's coming to the end of his career, but to me, Steve Davis is what Rangers is all about. Plays for that, plays for the shirt, and tries his best every time. If we could get players, a young guy like him, that's the sort of guy we need.
It's a kind of player by build the team around.
I thought Arfield was very good too before, before we started, and he was the one that was sort of holding us together in a few games at the end of the last couple of games,
No,
Alan Booth said his dad was a legend, and it's saying keep Haji.
His dad was a massive. His dad was world class.
Yeah, you got to think for Haji, he's got some massive boots to fill, and he did a pretty bloody good job of doing it at his first big club. And even his dad said he's at the right club, he wants to stay here, and I'm sure he'll be signing for Rangers. That's what Ian Haji said recently. And again, we're talking about the X Factor, the son of let's face it, one of the greatest. You'd say top 25, top 30 European players potentially of all time. Haji was incredible.
Totally. But I mean, they were talking about before we signed him about going back and signing Vladimir Weiss. That would have been the other option. But I thank the Lord we got Haji, because what I've seen of Weiss and games before that, he was just not half the player he was when he was with us.
You know what? I don't know why, but Rangers re-signing Weiss, it rings a bell. I feel like I might have heard it before for the past 7 seasons or so. Sure.
Yeah.
I think the thing with the boy
I don't
Haji.
know what anybody else feels about Shanklin, but last season we were all talking about signing Shanklin. We're trying to get him before other players, and then
good point.
Go into the ether. Didn't seem to exist anymore.
Very good point.
I think Shanklin could be, if we do lose Morelos, Shanklin would be the guy that I would be looking at.
And he wants to play for us.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, I don't fancy this big boy, and he's probably a nice big fella, right? But the boy made Burnley, he's constantly putting his name in the ring with Rangers, but I don't see it.
No,
£20 million for.
It's a difficult one. Sheffield United.
Right, yellow card.
No, well, it's a fair point.
Did you say bad words?
Yes, he did.
From Swansea for 20 million, but he's not. Look,
no,
I like him.
McBurney's a typical journeyman player in England. He's not he's not that type of guy.
But it's tough to say this because he's probably fucking watching right now, isn't he?
Probably. I apologise to him if he is. But he's a good player to bring on. But he's not that type of player we need. We need another Chris Boyd. Let's face it. We need somebody who's going to knock the ball in, week out, from 2 yards out, from 20 yards out. Head, feet, whatever. We need a goal scorer.
A big target man. We need a kind of target man, I think.
Yeah. Totally.
A big get in and get them player.
What about the feed, guys? Any more comments on the feed?
A good player.
Everyone's asking you to sing, Si. You need to do a song.
I know they're asking you to sing. Jim Trotter said to me. Jim Trotter said, Sandra, he asked you to sing, and I've cocked it and sent Si. I mean, Si knows the words.
I don't know.
Natalie said I can sing far away.
Natalie sent me a song that she wrote at about 5 o'clock in the morning.
Have you sang it on the show?
Aye, because of 2 whiskies.
Just a
two. Guys, this week, a good friend of Si's and myself, a very good Rangers man, Mark Kirkland, from we know him from the Orange side, but big Gers as well. Mark unfortunately lost his mother this week, so I would like to pass my personal regards on to Mark. I don't know if he's watching because I know he's got other things to worry about. But I would like to pass on my regards from myself and from my own private lodge, Tyndale LOL, 1869, number 2, District Belfast.
Yeah, I can even that. Kirky's a lovely guy.
You know what, Si? I wanted to thank the Rangers players, the Rangers supporters that were helping out with the PPE.
Here.
Aye.
Or the care homes as well. I think John Leach was one of them, so fair play to them.
Well done,
guys. Well
done,
guys.
I think Natalie's going to put a message out about that. It's basically a couple of boys in England, a couple of Rangers boys, and I was actually going to get Natalie to read it out, but I don't know if she's wrote a message about it. But the boys basically make up these masks, the PPE stuff, everything that's needed to do, and they've got a wee factory going for it, and They're putting hundreds and hundreds and maybe thousands out now.
Fair play to them, well done. Well done, guys.
I would like to thank everybody who's out there doing the vital work with PPE. Here in Northern Ireland, there's a lot of people from the flute band fraternity that are out doing it.
I've read about that.
From the Grand Lodge that are out doing it. With people from the Rangers supporters clubs, people from local football supporters clubs are out doing it. So many people are out there, and I think more than anybody that everybody should take a bit of inspiration from is Captain Tom Moore. Captain Tom Moore has proven to the whole of the world that if you are determined to do something, do it, and the world will get behind you. The man is an absolute inspiration for this time.
And I don't know who done it, but somebody put a wee video where the flute band playing as if he was doing the walk with the band on it.
I've seen that.
Brilliant. I've seen it. That's so great for you. So it is.
Brilliant, I know. Good stuff.
No, but thank everybody from the NHS especially. They're godsends for us all. And I think this is putting everything into perspective for everybody now that, these are the things that matter in life. Family, friends.
We take so much for granted, Warren.
Yes, we do. We take far too much for granted, and our NHS is probably one of the biggest things that people take for granted. I thank them all personally, and I know from us from Gers TV, we all thank them.
But a shout out just before I forget. I was reading about it last week. A guy that I know quite well, John McDonald, that played with Rangers in the 80s.
John McDonald.
Aye,
John.
Rangers in the 70s and 80s.
He loved the challenge against Aberdeen.
Aye, he's doing double shifts and everything.
That's right.
With NHS.
Brilliant.
You look at players now, a lot of players now that couldn't basically lace his boots that cause of the football at the right time. They'll never have to work again when they leave Rangers in any club their way. And it's happening with our football. And these guys will never have to work again. A guy like John McDonald is basically he's doing double shifts and everything with the NHS.
Mm-hmm. Brilliant guy.
You guys have it 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock
double station. Well. You're doing Gers TV and he's doing his kids.
Say that again, Warren. Sorry, Ben.
Do you guys have 8 o'clock claps for the NHS on Thursdays as well?
Oh yes.
Yes.
Yep.
So I was in hospital recently. Not for me. So don't worry. I'm fine. I'll haunt you guys for like 50 years to come. But I was in hospital recently, and I said to one of the NHS workers, one of the nurses, I go, so do you have some sort of extra pay at the moment? No, not at all. Do you have any sort of motivation pay? So if you take this many extra hours? No, not at all. So what have you given extra then? What do you get given that you wouldn't normally? And he looked me dead in the eye with like a dead serious face, laced with upset, and he goes, a clap at 8 o'clock on Thursdays.
But again, I think our government, the British government and the Scottish government and here in Northern Ireland, all of these people have to, whenever this comes back, instead of giving bankers all this money and all these people that get these massive wages, the doctors, the nurses, and the people who are out there doing this work, they all need to be recognised by the country. And I'm talking about a pay rise of 20% or something along those lines. Because
my daughter works for the NHS, and we're all keeping safe, but she's the one that could be bringing this disease in, because she's dealing with it every day.
So it's up. I mean, I know Boris Johnson himself is very into recognising the NHS because he got the thing himself and he was very ill. So hopefully all the governments, including wee Jimmy Cranky and the rest of them, they all recognise these people throughout the whole of the UK, and they give them, as I say, not just a clap, but give them something that they can have for their family. Give them an extra few bob. Give them a pay rise that they deserve. You know, these people, they're godsends for us all. Absolutely. And not just the NHS, people working in supermarkets and helping people out. And, all of these people need to be recognised.
No, the guys are collecting the bins. People don't realise that.
Exactly.
At this time, with this epidemic going on, there's guys out doing the bins and just grafting away and doing their job.
I know.
That's it. And Big Davey.
There's a lot of key workers that don't get mentioned.
Oh, I agree. And Davey McVicker needs a mention too, because that fella's looking after all them kids all day. and then he's downloading videos and everything. I mean, he's keeping the morale going, aren't you, Gilly?
See, the thing is as well, a pal of mine works for Timpson's. You know Timpson's?
Yes, Timpson's,
he's been told he's got to work. Apparently, he's a key worker.
Oh, do you know, I can feel a joke coming on there.
He's a chub. Maybe
it's madness, isn't it? Before,
I'm thinking to myself, Warren's answering seriously here.
Well, actually, the place where I work, many of my colleagues are still in work, and they're working very, very hard. And there's not many of them are Gers fans. That's all I'm saying. So, but I would like again to wish them all well. Wish everybody well. Care workers who are out there looking after people in their houses, and all those people, not just the NHS, but people who are out caring for people. It's massive. We've lost Sandra, by the way. She's away again.
She'll be back.
Sandra.
I would like to see I would even like to see whenever possible, where Rangers to play a friendly with one of the English clubs and donate the money to the NHS.
Liverpool.
But Liverpool would be ideal. And all the money goes. Nobody gets a fee. Nobody gets a pay for it. The NHS get all the money. But that's in the future, obviously.
Or what the Gers could do is have a special day where they have a closed match for only NHS workers or people, key workers. So it's closed to everybody else, but a special day, and they can have a tour of the stadium, everything.
Something for them,
maybe hospitality at cheaper prices for key workers. I think it's mental that, like, previously, if someone said to me, Ben, who would you name as key workers? It's going to sound cheesy and uneducated as tough, but here you go. I'd have said police, fire brigade, ambulance, and sort of anyone that works within the public sector. But how important are people, like just people that work in supermarkets, so overlooked and so right? But they are holding us down, man. Delivery drivers, people work in supermarkets.
I've always said,
and it's the same with the guys who are delivering shopping to people's houses, no too. They're all the same.
Exactly.
I've always said that. See, when you move into a new house, the first person you want to make friends with is a kebab man. It is, because you know for a fact that when you're drunk, you're going to have to rely on this kebab guy every day, every minute, weekend of your life. The kebab man's the most important man to be part of it. Key workers.
Kebab every week.
You're right. Even things like we here in Larne for nearly 3 weeks didn't have any takeaway. I think it was Domino's was the only one, and I'm not a great fan of them. So because I don't know if you know, Domino's was actually originally run by church. Did you know that, Dr. Say?
No, but what?
They were set up by priests. So they were.
No, Domino's. I don't know anything about them. No.
So, but Domino's was the only thing that was delivering here. So now we're getting our Chinese again. These guys are just as important, and I agree with you. But I think Rangers should actually think about maybe something like £100 off season ticket for anyone who was involved in fighting the corona, and people.
Something to benefit them. I don't think they would grudge it. I don't think the supporters would grudge.
I don't think we would. I don't think we would. I don't think it would. We're not getting Sandra back.
Don't know what's happened. She's maybe done a pubber.
Well, I was going to say to you, but really, I think we just need to make a stand as fans as well on this whole situation. As I say, I would personally call for, if they do give them this trophy, this tainted trophy, that next season that we don't attend any away games.
The problem with that is there's always going to be people go to games, and you can't really tell people not to go. But I do agree with you. I do agree, but I don't see it happening.
What we could do is just call for a fan, maybe a poll then to be taken, whether fans want to do it or not.
I'm just trying to get back in.
All right, I would love if they could basically, if they could do something where every pub, because the Rangers pubs are going to suffer. It's going to be hard to get the Rangers bars opened again.
Yeah,
never mind any other bars. And Rangers supporters clubs down south and Northern Ireland or whatever, they're all going to suffer.
Very much so.
If everybody's going to have the choice of going to a Rangers away game or supporting a Rangers bar, my opinion is support the Rangers bar now and getting the bars back on.
I agree with you, chum. I mean, I know Big Tolly and the guys here, they're struggling, and if you don't have revenue coming through that door all the time, you still have bills that need to be paid, and it's the same with Orange Falls and all too. So, it's very, very hard. very
That
much.
Rangers club, the Alarm Rangers club, that's one of my favourites as well. It's a great club.
That's a good one. That's good.
Boyne Square.
Boyne Square. Good.
Fixed now. Sandra's back. Where'd you go to?
Sandra's away.
Barry died. And I'm like, oh no. Trying to find another. Right, am I back on the right?
Sandra, when you disappeared there, it was just me at the bottom and the two of them at the top.
Okay.
And one of the comments said, "Are you okay there, Ben, with two big boys on top of you?" I thought I wouldn't address it until you were back in.
And I'm not going to get into great detail, but all I can think is this: the big black guy, the big heavy guy that's appearing in all these photographs that you click on.
Barry.
Oh,
Lordy.
We stay home for you. Please stay home for us, and it's him.
oh dear. Hey, what did I miss?
Nothing.
Not much. Just talking about nonsense, to be honest, Sandra.
Well, Si did a duet of Whitney Houston's, solo, sorry, of Whitney Houston's "I Know I Will Always Love You," and it was emotional. It was really good.
And I missed it. My goodness.
Missed it.
I was that good. Don't need a bodyguard.
Very good. Very clever. I get it.
Jim Trotter says keep the thing far away as possible.
I hope Jim's getting better. Jim got a wee accident the other day. I hope he's better.
Aye, I know. Jim, I told you already.
Oh, hope so.
So obviously, if he's on the computer, he should be a wee bit better anyway. His eyesight must be all right anyway if he's reading it or watching this.
So what's happening with the Premiership then? Is there anything else come through from it? From England? For the English Premiership, is there anything? Is there when are they making their decision?
Not that I know of. Not that I know of whatsoever. It's relatively few, that one. The movement seems to be in the countries where the disease originated first, affected. So your Spain's and your Italy, with Juventus saying that they wouldn't accept it. Spain, they're looking to nullify the league. There's one league that someone's been crowned champions already. Was that the Belgian league? Was it?
Belgium. Aye.
Seen that
Belgian league. Yeah. So I think they're looking to sit tight and try and play it out. But one thing that I did hear was in the summer, sort of July-ish time, they'd be playing like a mini tournament in the Midlands, where they sort of play out the remainders of the game in sort of like a mini tournament style with no fans. But
there was the same idea, Ben. She was saying that there was the same idea they were talking about with the Europa Cup. That if Rangers were to play a closed door game and beat Bayer Leverkusen and overturn the deficit, that would basically get into a tournament where let me remember this, was it penalty kicks would decide who the winners are? Something like that. Anyway, last week they're talking about Europa's going to consider it. Okay, they want to have an outcome, and it's either going to be a couple of challenge matches behind closed doors. I don't know. I may be wrong with the penalties, but Rangers wouldn't have been it unless they beat Leverkusen. Obviously, with more than the 2-goal deficit.
Right. I didn't hear that.
Aye, but I don't know if it's just one of these fake news. As
that happened many years ago. Remember the whole Marseille thing we were talking about, putting it through, and nothing ever happened there either. So
nah. But
Stephen McPherson said hello from the Drumchapel Loyal.
Drumchapel Loyal. They've been up in Drumchapel and well.
There's somebody asking if I'm back with the chips.
Someone's just sent a comment saying hi from all of Ulster. I tell you what, that man is a popular bloody guy, isn't he? All of Ulster travelled through him.
Representing all of Ulster, he should stand in the next election.
Hello from all of Ulster. That is, of course, me.
That's what I'm saying. Representing everybody. Fair play to him.
It's normally the sons of Ulster. This is all of Ulster.
Depends where he is. Depends what part of Ulster he's in.
That would be a good night as well. That would be a good show as well. Like so we talk about the likes of the Rangers supporters clubs around the world, the best venue. The reason I'm saying that, I mentioned the Larne Rangers, but I was in a place one time called, and I can never pronounce this right, Clock Rangers. There's two of them in Ulster, two clocks.
There's two clocks. One
I know. I'm trying to see this right before getting in case I go back to that big black guy with the big. Aye, so there's one near Ballymena.
That's right.
And the Rangers club that they've got in there, the Clough Rangers Supporters Club, is fantastic. That's what I was trying to say.
It's a nice club. It is a nice club.
It was hard for me to say all that.
Yeah, there's loads. I mean, I've been in quite a few over the years doing talks and stuff. And, you know, there's some lovely...
Carrick Fergus has got a great one as well. Carrick Fergus has got a great beer garden and things like that. A big memorial.
Aye, no, that's right. Carrick's a nice one. Have you ever been to Cozy in Dundonald? The Rangers Club? Oh, that's quite a good one. That's where I come from. It's quite nice too.
You come to Dundonald?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I didn't know that, Warren.
That's where I'm from. I live in Larne, but I'm from Dundonald. Right beside Ballybean. I know you stayed in Ballybean. Remember you said? Can you stay in Ballybean one time?
No.
Oh, you said. Where was you said you stayed over for the 12th?
I stayed in Carrick.
In Carrick?
Yeah, I stayed in Carrick.
Somebody else was on. They said they stayed in Ballybean once.
Oh, it may have been Jim. Maybe Jim Trotter.
May have been Jim. God help him. The Bean.
Ballybean.
I apologise to anybody who's watching from the Bean.
The craziest place I was ever in was a place called Port Ballantrae.
Oh no, Port Ballantrae. Well, yes.
Aye, the 12th of July. This was Emma's 22 years ago. It would have been 23 years ago maybe. And it was the 12th of July. My big mate Chris Donnelly said, "You're going to love this. I'm going to take you a party." I thought it was a sash bash. He took us to a barnyard, a proper
barn dance.
Barn dance, not a country and western. Hillbilly rock, hillbilly rock.
No drink.
They were all dressed up as cowboys, and when they took us in, they all looked
was there
behind
drink?
Aye, it was drink, but it was like when they took us in, everybody looked behind their back to see if you were allowed in or that, and you weren't meant to be there.
There's a lot of them up around that area. That's what we call the Bible Belt. That's the real traditional religious part of Northern Ireland. And up Ballymena, Kells, up around that way. I went to one time. It was a barn dance, but there was no drink. There was no alcohol because they were all teetotalers. They're all Free Presbyterian Paisley's crowd. It was bizarre.
Port Ballantrae.
I've been to some. I went to a wedding in the Shankill once. This is one of the funniest stories ever. And I took my girlfriend at the time, was quite posh. And it was in, I don't know if you've been to Shankill, say, the Mountain View.
Aye.
The Mountain View Social Club.
Aye.
Okay. So we got into the Mountain View Social Club, and this is where the reception was, very posh. And we got in, and we're looking around. There's no food. There was no tables, or there was tables to sit at, but there was no food, no buffet, no nothing. Oh, what the hell's going on here? And then the father of the bride comes around with a bit of paper, takes everybody's orders, fish suppers, supper, fish supper, beef burger, fritter,
forget it, chip show.
With a bit of paper, and that was your wedding dinner. Brilliant. She was like,
times, man.
She was very posh, very posh.
Right, guys, we've got 5 minutes to go.
Tell me his phone.
We're going to finish in 5 minutes because the Rangers Radio podcast comes on about 9 o'clock.
Oh, yeah.
We don't want to interrupt. We don't want to do two at the same time. Just to quickly finish up, where are we? Any feed? On the feed?
I can't see. I can only see Natalie. Don't kid yourself, Si, about the smosh. Bet you were up there getting it loud.
Oh, it was for the Cowboys. I was in for Indians.
That's funny. Like, I mean, different people, different ideas.
And Bushmills are another crazy place. That's another one I went to.
Bushmills.
There's a guy called German.
Alan Booth is booing us because we're ending the stream. We're getting boos. We got the boo boys.
Oh, here it was. But it was Jim Trotter in Ballybean. He just says Ballybean is a great area of East Belfast.
I've never been.
Jim's going to be the next Ballybean leader, then the next Lord Mayor of Ballybean.
Jim's a big bean.
It has been.
That was him that said that, Jim. No.
Joe Weddy said here did Warren say something about the rosary? No, I definitely didn't.
No, I don't sound like it, didn't it? I'm just laughing.
Anything about rosary beads or anything about it.
I'll tell you a quick story when you're talking about beans there and all that. I used to, obviously, be really, really pally with Johnny Hubbard. Johnny. or a night out one time, and a Celtic supporter shouted at him, "Oh, Hubbard, you're a has-been," and he says, "And you're a never been."
That's a good one to end on. That's a good one to end
It's
on.
a good one to end on. Guys, it's been a privilege again. Warren, thanks again, mate.
No bother, bro. No bother.
Ben, you still there?
I'm still here, big man.
Brilliant, excellent. And we're going to get some of your videos up in the next couple of weeks.
Let's do it, mate.
Sandra.
Right. And always remember, guys, we are
the people. I got it this time. I got it.
Ah.